everybody, welcome to episode 47 of the Inspired Knitting Podcast. I'm your host Bobby, and I am coming to you from the very sunny and gorgeous New Brunswick, Canada. Today is Tuesday, April the 14th, 2020. I would first like to start off by welcoming any new viewers who may be tuning in for the very first time. Welcome, and to all my returning viewers, welcome back. I hope that you all are staying safe out there and you all had a good Easter. This past weekend was Easter for us here, as I know it is around the world, obviously. But I hope you all had a good one. Things are very different this year. We can't get together with our friends and family because of everything that's going on, so it's a little harder and it's a little tough. But it's for the good in the end, right? So I'm not going to dwell on that too much because it tends to be very depressing, and I know that I tune into these podcasts to take my mind away from all of that, so we'll just leave it at that. So I hope you all are staying safe out there. Okay, so it has been several weeks since you guys last saw me and I spoke to you. So I'm just going to do a tiny bit of chatter and administration stuff, and then I'll show the knitting. So first off, I'm going to just touch on everything that's been going on in my life. I've had so many of you reach out to me and send me so many messages, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys. You have gotten me through the past several weeks, and I love your messages. So for those of you who may be tuning in for the very first time, I am now a little over 5 weeks post-op from bariatric surgery. So for those of you that don't know what bariatric surgery is, it's weight loss. So I had what they call the gastric sleeve, and I did not know this because I thought a sleeve, like it was like a sleeve. It's not. They just pretty much take about half of your stomach out. So your stomach is technically going to be the size of a banana. So yeah, after, I think it's the first couple weeks, or at least the first week, they said that your stomach is like the size of a pen, and that is like super scary to think about. But hey, it's not that bad. I was scared, like, how's the pain level's gonna be? The pain level, I'm sitting in a wheelchair, so I have to haul myself around, like, to do transfers and stuff. So I'm gonna say that the first couple days, they were very painful for me. The first 2 days I actually was bedridden at the hospital. Usually patients have the surgery and they typically can go home the same day. It's the same day surgery, but sometimes they stay overnight and go home the next day. I stayed for 3 days just because I wasn't able to get up. It hurt pretty bad. So by day 3, I was able to move myself into my wheelchair very slowly, but I managed, and I got to come home, and that was wonderful. So yeah, it was, the first couple weeks were very hard just because of my transfers. Normally I do everything myself, like I dress myself, I can bathe myself, I can do everything like that, but the first couple weeks I needed some help just to help me move around, just because I felt, because of the way I was moving, I couldn't lean too much one way, I couldn't lean too much the other way because my stomach was hurting, and which was all normal. It was no complications. It's just harder for me. But regardless, I have no regrets at all. And to those of you that have reached out to me and said that you're either beginning your journey or you were thinking about it, I do highly recommend it. So far, the pain is not that bad. I'll just say that. For me, it was a little harder, but it's still tolerable. It's not that bad at all. And the eating, you are not going to want to eat. That was the one thing I was worried about. The way that you get like a diet plan, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle, but you get like these plans to follow. So for 2 weeks or a week after the surgery, you're doing liquids, so it could be waters and juices and stuff, and then for 14 days you do a puree diet, so it could be baby food, which I tried baby food and I did not like. So I pureed like chunky soups, you know, like the Campbell's chunky soup. I would puree that, and they recommend that during this period you get up to 1.25 cups of food into yourself, and you eat 6 meals a day, 3 meals and 3 snacks. Right now I'm still only able to eat about 1/2 cup of food, sometimes a little bit more depending on what it is. You need to intake a lot of protein because your body gets robbed of that during the surgery. So every clinic is different that you go to. That's just the way that my clinic deals with it. So yeah, I have no idea what I weigh right now just because I can't get on a scale at home. I have to go to the hospital for that, and I was supposed to go back on April the 1st to see my dietitian, but because of everything going on right now, my hospital is actually the center for the testing of it right now, and the clinic there is shut down. Like the bariatric clinic is shut down. So, and I don't think I'd want to go anyways, but that's where I get weighed. So I don't know how much weight I have dropped since the surgery. I started this a year ago and I was 354 pounds. Scary stuff, but when I went in for the surgery, I had dropped down to 336 pounds. So I'm not going to complain about that. That was amazing. I'm not going to lose weight as fast as an able-bodied person just because I can't get up and exercise and move. But they warned me about that, and that's okay. I'm totally okay with what I had lost already. Since the surgery, I know I've dropped more just because of my clothes. I can fit into stuff that I wasn't able to fit into before. So it's all good, and I'm doing good. I'm happy. I'm happy. There was no complications, and yeah, everything's going well. The food, I had a couple of people ask me about the food. I now started on soft foods, so I can pretty much eat anything except for nuts. I have had a few of them, but they don't really digest well at this point, so I'm staying away from them. I can't have anything with seeds in it, just because it could still have a potential to cause complications. Skins on anything, you can't have the skins on anything. So I love English cucumbers, so I make sure that I take the skins off, just stuff like that. You can have chicken. They recommend that you don't have steak or anything like that. Broccoli and asparagus, which I love. I can't have that for at least another week, just because when you eat it, it doesn't digest that well in our stomachs. So just things like that. It's going well. The only thing I've noticed with myself, and everybody will be different, they warn you that your tastes are going to change, and my tastes have changed. There's things that I loved that I no longer like the taste of, or my stomach just won't accept it. The thing that I can't digest that I am allowed to eat is block cheese. They recommend that you can have cream cheese, block cheese, cottage cheese. I don't like cottage cheese, although it is recommended because it is very high in protein, but I just don't like that. But block cheese I've always loved, but I find that when I eat it, although it's in a very small amount, my stomach just ain't digesting it well, so I've taken it out of my plan now. But regardless, that's the gist of it. Like I said, everybody will be different because we are all different. But yeah, I'm doing well. So if you you have any questions or you need a sounding board because you're going to be going through this journey, don't be afraid to reach out to me. I would be happy to chat with you, because it's always great. The more support that you can have during this journey, the better. So anyways, I just wanted to give you a little update on that, because I've had an amazing amount of people just reaching out to me asking me questions. So I thought I would share that here on the podcast with you guys. So I'm just going to end that there. We're already 10 minutes in. I hope I haven't lost anybody because of my blabbering. But that's what's been going on. So on to administrative stuff. I wanted to touch on the knit along, the Valentine Baubles knit along. It has now ended. It ended on April the 1st. And we had a couple people that entered into the hashtag. So thank you very much for joining us. So the Baubles knit along was hosted by myself and Mallory of Family First Fibers. So Mallory has been amazing during this, and I cannot thank you enough, Mallory. Mwah, I love ya. She did amazing with this. She promoted the knit along and she held it up while I was in the hospital and going through all this stuff. Probably knowing what I do now, I might not have started a knit along just before the surgery, but I didn't anticipate that it was gonna knock me on my butt the way it did. But she has been amazing, and Mallory has reached out. We have picked a winner, and she has reached out to that person. So she just needs the address. So to the winner, just give your, I don't have that information with me right now, but she has sent you a message. So just give her your address and she will get your prize sent out to you. So there we go. I will probably host another knit along in the future, probably around midsummer or fall, and I don't know what it's going to be yet, but it'll be something. So for all of you that participated, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm gonna get on into the knitting now. So you would think about 3 weeks there would be a lot of finished stuff, but there's really not. I have taken the time to, there were days where I just couldn't knit, and there were days where I just decided not to do anything because I just didn't feel like it. So, well, okay. So, the first thing that I have to share with you is what I'm wearing. And I am so happy about this. I was able to FO it while I was home after the surgery. Sorry about that, guys. So I was able to FO it after the surgery. And it is my LoveNote by Tin Can Knits. And if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it. So I'm just gonna back up here a bit. So it is all done and in its glory. And I cannot tell you how much I love this sweater. I just want to make all the mohair sweaters right now. And I would make another one of these because it is amazing. So the yarn that I used was Knit Picks Hawthorne. It was the hand painted. My neighbor just come home, so Naya's got to bark at him. Even though she sees him all the time, she's got to bark at him. Anyways, it is the Knit Picks Hawthorne hand painted. And it is in the Rockway colorway, which is a very beautiful tonal brown. And it's got some hints of red in it. I hope that's not too loud. It's got some hints of red in it. It's a fingering weight, and I held it double with Knit Picks mohair in black, and it just created the most beautiful effect. I love it. You can see a lot of the tonality here. I just love it. Oh. So anyways, I did wash and block it. when I did the decreases up here, and I know a lot of people have done this as well, you provisional cast on here, and then you do your lace repeats, continue on down, and then you pick up the neck after. I did additional decreases just to have it sitting a little bit closer to my neck up here. I just thought the neck looked a little big for myself, so I decided just to add extra decreases in. So yeah, that's the only modification that I did to it. I also, actually that's a lie, I did additional decreases down here, because if I remember right in the pattern, you just knit straight down, and I think I did some decreases here to cinch it in more. And I made it longer because I like my sleeves to sit a little bit further down. But besides that, it was a beautiful pattern, super fast. You can do what is recommended in the pattern. You can do fingering weight held with lace mohair, or you could just use a DK weight yarn. So I absolutely love it. It's knit up on 6mm needles, so it goes by super fast. I would definitely knit this again. As I said, I want to knit it with mohair because the mohair is just so soft. Like, all you want to do is just stroke it and touch it. It's so nice. But it's a little bit more pricier that way. But if you go through Knit Picks, I find that their mohair is very well priced. So I don't know. I also am considering just making another DK weight one because it's just such a beautiful pattern. It wears well on all shapes. It comes with a crop version and a regular length version. I did a regular length because I'm not comfortable wearing anything that's cropped. It's just not flattering on me. But yeah, it's very beautiful. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that's by Tin Can Knits. And yeah, double thumbs up for that one. So the next thing that I have to share with you guys, so that was the biggest thing, and I was so happy to get that off my needles. The next thing that I created is a little baby sweater, because my best friend Shelby had her baby girl, and Miss Laura come into the world on February the 28th, and she is the sweetest little thing. I got to visit her, got to meet her for the very first time when I was at the hospital. Shelby and her man come to visit, and I got to meet Miss Laura, so I'm very blessed and happy that I got to meet her before all of this started. But I just want to make all the baby things now because she is just the sweetest, and she is so adorable and so knit worthy. So I was browsing around online for patterns, and I discovered Petite Knits, and she has some of the most sweetest baby knits, child knits, and she even does like adult versions as well. So I saw this one and I just had to make it, and I'm just going to pull it up for you because I'm not 100% sure I'm going to pronounce the pattern name right, but I don't even know if you guys could see that. I think you can. It's the Anchor's Suit by Petite Knit. So it's like a kind of like a onesie, and it has a yoke on it. I'll just show it to you guys. So it has a beautiful 1x1 ribbed yoke. So I chose to buy the suit pattern. Now she does have the pattern for just the sweater, but I bought the suit pattern in case I wanted to make it, and that's what I was originally going to do. But I decided that I was just going to do like a shirt form. So here it is, and as you can see, it's just a little shirt. I followed the pattern for everything. I did the 6 to 12 month size, and I followed the body's length. I followed the body's length until you would have done like the bottom part, and I just added a couple little rows of ribbing. For the sleeves, the pattern has long sleeves. I did a pickup row around, like knit one row, and then I knit a couple rows of ribbing for the sleeves as well. So yeah. And the back has a little opening here, which I haven't finished yet, and you just put a button on it. So that's the only thing I have left to do. I already washed and blocked it. I used Knit Picks Stroll Fingering in the Dove Heather colorway, and it is so soft. I love it. So I have to just get the button put on it, and Miss Laura can have her new little sweater. So that was one thing. The next thing that I completed is a pair of socks. And I finished my Waiting for Henry socks. I already had the first one complete, and I just had to finish the second one, so I took this to the hospital with me, and I was actually able to get a little bit done, and I'm happy about that. So I had a different technique. Whoops, I'm out of practice here, guys. I had never done this before, but what I decided to do, I always get second sock syndrome. So what I did was I knit the color work pattern, and then I don't know what the pattern recommends. This is the Waiting for Henry socks by Tabitha Gandy of the Hey Sister podcast. She has amazing patterns. I love her stuff. But I know what I did. I cast it on using a 2.25 millimeter to do the color work, and then when I started for the heel and the foot, I went down to a 2 millimeter. So I went up a needle size just to do the color work because I wasn't sure how tight my color work was going to be. So that's what I did. So because I changed needles, what I chose to do was, when I was done this color work, I cast it on for the second sock, did that color work, and then I had 2 at a time going, which I think helped a lot to get these done faster. So I'm going to consider doing that in the future, kind of have them both going at once. That way I don't have second sock syndrome. Yeah. But anyways, there they are in all their glory. I really, really love them. So the yarns that I used Knit Picks Stroll again for the brown, the green. I'm just trying to remember what the green was called. I want to say that it's Aurora Heather. I'm not sure, but it's a very beautiful forest green. The speckled right here is Lay Family Yarns, and I don't remember the colorway name, but it's like a natural base that has some pops of like peachy orange, and it's got some pops of gold in there, like yellow. It's just so pretty. And then for the red here, I'm using Suburban Stitcher. I got a 20-gram mini. It was a sock set that was in her fall 2018 mystery sock club. So I stole the mini and put that in there because I thought the colors worked together so well. So there is my Waiting for Henry socks. I absolutely love this pattern, and I will be making more of these in the future. It has a nice little rib here on the foot, and I believe the gusset heel was in the pattern as well, but I did a ribbed slip stitch gusset for the heel. So yeah, love it, love it, love it. I got those done. So that was the Waiting for Henry socks by Tabitha Gandy. And the next pair of socks that I casted on, I got those off the needles and I had to cast on a new pair right away. And I was going to do the Waiting for Henry socks, but I'm being picky about the colors. If you see the pattern picture that Tabitha posted, she uses like a natural color for the sock, and she has some, it looks like black and gold as her accent colors. I really would like to do it in those colors, so I'm just holding off from casting on because I would like to find yarns to do that color. So I decided that I was going to go hunting for another colorwork sock, because the girl that doesn't really like colorwork apparently loves making colorwork socks now. So I went on to Ravelry and I found this new pattern that got released not too long ago. It is the Changing Season Socks by Twin Stitches, and here it is. It is so pretty. And again, the colors that she used in her project picture, I so want to make those ones too. I chose to do my lighter color up here and my darker here. Hers is opposite. She has a light speckle here and then uses a beautiful purple to do where I did the lighter colors. They are so striking and so beautiful. I'll just bring it up a little bit closer so you can see the pattern. So easy to do. I just love it. So I'm going to show you the yarn that I used for it. And this is actually part of my stash enhancement. I am sorry about my dog. She just does not like the neighbors, apparently. Although they've done nothing to her. So I made an order with Diane of the Suburban Stitcher, and she had this lovely bag in her shop, and it was part of the, I believe it was the Bee Collective, if I remember correctly. But I just had to get this bag. It's by Birch and Grove, and it's the most cutest sock sack or sock bag that I have seen in my life, and it is so well made as well. So here is Birch and Grove. If you haven't checked her out, you need to follow her on Instagram and check out her shop, because she does amazing things. But I love my bag. It's got a linen interior, and I just love these little beads on the drawstring. They're so cute. Okay, so the yarn that I used is Suburban Stitcher. This is her Rusted Oak. I hope I am getting that right. I should have looked that up before I started. But it's very, it's a beautiful chestnutty brown. Or is it that old chestnut? One moment. Hey guys, I'm back. So I just wanted to confirm what the colorway name was before I said it. It is That Old Chestnut by Suburban Stitcher, and it is this gorgeous brown color, and it's got some reds in it, like some red tones in it as well. It's just so beautiful. Will it focus? Guess that's as good as it's gonna get. There we go. It's so pretty. So I used that for the base of the sock, and when I made the order for this project bag, I picked up a 20 grams mini skein from her in her Lambalam colorway. I can't say it. It was one of the colorways that Diane created for the Peach Collective. So it's on a natural base, and there is flecks of green, and there is pops of bright, like a brighter green, and there's some brown specks in there as well. It's just very pretty, think there's even some pink in there as well. It's just so gorgeous. I love it. So I got that mini skein as well. So I thought the two of those just paired together so well. And I love them. So that's what I did. I have yet to cast on the second sock. I did not follow the practice that I did last time of doing 2 at a time. Kind of wish I had now, but that's okay. So I have it housed in my bag here, so hopefully soon I will pick that back up and do the second sock. So there's that. I have one more sock related thing. I don't know what's gotten into me lately because I lost my sock mojo for the longest time, but by finishing the Waiting for Henry socks, it kind of kicked that back into gear. So for the longest time I've had the Joe's Perfect Slipper socks in my library, and I've been wanting to do them but just never got around to casting it on. So I finally did, guys. So this one is housed in just a little project bag that I made, and I'm trying to keep my tripod steady because it's kind of a breezy day out here. I don't want you guys to fall over. So I casted these on, and so far I have one complete. So this is the Joe's Perfect Slipper Sock by Cozy Up Knits. And yeah. So you'll see here that this isn't the neatest. There are holes there. So this is not the pattern's fault. This is just me. It does like a twin stitch. Yeah, a twin stitch to do the heel. It's kind of like a short row heel of sorts. It reminds me a lot of the Fish Lips Kiss heel, if you have ever done it, and I know it's very, very popular. I've just never had luck in keeping these gaps small or these holes small, but that's okay. These are for myself, and I'm not going to be too concerned about it. So anyways, besides that, I really love them. This is a deep stash yarn that I've had, so I don't know what the colorway name is, but it is Knit Picks. I want to say that it's Knit Picks Hand Painted Stroll, if I even got that right. But I've had this for like 6 years or more in my stash. It is fingering weight yarn, so I just held it double. So I caked it up into 2 separate skeins, or 2 separate cakes, and just held it double, and it creates a very wonderful fabric. But yeah, I love this so much, and it did not take it did not take long to do at all. You start at the toe here by doing kind of like Judy's magic cast on, and then you just work the foot to the length that you need it, and then you start doing your heel, and then you just bind off. So nice. It's got this beautiful little textured rib pattern on it, which is super simple. This is very fast to knit up. I know that I got this done in like an evening, like that much, from casting on to there, and then the next day it only took me not even 2 hours, I think, to do the rest of it. So they are very, very quick. That being said, do I have a pair of slipper socks? No, I don't, because Bobby is not monogamous, as you know. Stop laughing, Shelby. I know you're laughing. So I do have a second one, though. I casted it on the same day so I wouldn't lose my inspiration. So I have the foot done, and I have to measure it, but I think that I can start doing my heel. I'm not sure. But there we go. And I have a little sweet little stitch marker here of an orange kitty cat, because Miss Rami, of course. And I don't think I ever showed these, but I got these charms from Whimsy and Sassy. You can find her on Instagram as Whimsy and Sassy, and she has an Etsy shop, and she sells these sweet little charms polymer clay charms. They're so cute. So this one came with a little pet rock, which is adorable. And I have another set of macaroons, colored macaroons, pastel colored ones. I might have showed them before, I just can't remember, but regardless, there's my second Joe slipper sock, and you can see my cakes in there. So yeah, those are super fun and super quick. I'm very sure that you could knit up a whole sock in a day or two, like have a pair done in a day or two if you were, you know, monogamous and just worked on that, but I can't do that apparently. So anyways, that was a faux and a work in progress, and I have another one to share with you as well, one more finished object. So I did an order with Twist Yarn Co. They are a yarn shop in Midland, Ontario, and I wanted to get some Estelle DK yarn, which I will share in more detail and stash enhancement. But I wanted to get some cotton yarn, and I'm gonna show you the label in case I pronounce it wrong. But if you're on Instagram, you're always seeing them. I think it's Sheppy's Stone Washed XL is the one that I got, but it is 50-gram balls, 70% cotton and 30% acrylic. And I've been really wanting to try them. Not all of them are stone wash. You can get, I think it's called Katana cotton as well, by the same brand, and they're just solid colors of cotton, and they've been intriguing me just because of this stone washed. I just love that look so much. It is so pretty and so gorgeous, and they have so many beautiful colors. So I've been really wanting to try them. They have this beautiful box set, and I think they're only 10 grams or 20-gram little balls, and of all the colors, and you can get the solids or you can get the stone washed, and it's such a beautiful palette of colors. And I was like, wow, and it's for a very reasonable price too, but I don't want to buy it and not like the yarn. So when I made my purchase for the Estelle yarn and I saw that they had this, I had to grab some. So it can come in, I believe it's fingering weight, or you can get the XL, which is more like a, I would say it's more like a worsted weight. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. So for this one here, it's purple, but that's, the lot number is 8106, or color number 870. And if you can see the name of it, the colorway name, if it will focus, there we go. There's the colorway name, which is backwards, I think. However, it's a beautiful purple. So I got, I got myself 3 skeins of it. So I made up a little dishcloth, and not following no pattern, I just cast it on. I think it was 26 stitches. Did some garter ridges and to keep my sides flat, and did a double seed stitch or moss stitch, however you want to say it. So I already washed and blocked it. I wanted to see because this yarn does have a halo on it, which I don't, yeah, I think you can kind of see the halo. So I wasn't sure how it was going to feel. It feels amazing for cotton. It's so soft and it is very drapey. I could see making a sweater in this, guys. It is that beautiful. So it washed and blocked beautifully. There was nothing wrong with the halo of it. It doesn't like shed or anything. It's just so beautiful. Something else that sells me very much on this yarn is that it has this easy tab on it. So it pulls right from the center. So this is already sticking out of the ball or the skein, and it's got this little sticky thing on it so that you know where the end is. So you just pull it and cast on your project so you can pull from the center of the ball. That is genius, and that is a big quality for me because whenever you pull from the center you get like a little yarn baby, which is fine, but this is just genius. I love it. So I love this yarn 100%, and I would highly recommend it, and I might have to buy a sweaters quantity one day because it is that nice. I love it. So do check out that yarn. I highly recommend it. There is the label again. And it's very affordable too. I think I paid $5 Canadian for a 50-gram ball. So 75 meters is what's in the skein. So that's good for me. It's very nice yarn. So yeah. So anyways, that is it for finished objects. So I guess we will now go on to works in progress. Okay, where to start? So I am gonna start off with showing you guys a new cast on, and it is in a new Made by Me bag. I haven't felt the urge to pull my sewing machine out since my surgery, but the other day I just had the inspiration, so I pulled it out and I made this cute little bag. And what inspired me was I ended up getting some D-rings and lobster claps to make like detachable handles. So my handle ain't the prettiest. This was my first go at it, so it's not the prettiest at all because I did it the wrong way, so I had to rip my stitches back out, but whatever, it's for myself. And I made this part just this tab a little too long. Whatever, yeah. And I love the fabric combination. So, I just lined it with the plain linen inside. Inside this bag is another sweater for Miss Laura, of course, because I gotta make all the baby things. So I found quite a few pretty sweaters, pullovers for babies online, and I had picked one. It's called the Livingston, and it's got these cute little button details that go here. I was going to do that one, and then I just had to cast on another LoveNote, because the great thing about Tin Can Knits is not only do they do all sizes for adults, but they also do child and baby. So Miss Laura needed a LoveNote, so I casted her on one, and here it is so far. So you can totally see the provisional cast on here in the darker yarn, and there's the lace. And I put the sleeves on waste yarn, so they're kind of bunched up right now, but I am now past the sleeves. I'm not too far down the body yet, but there it is. So pretty and super fast, because I'm not using mohair on this one. I am using Swish DK by Knit Picks, and it's just in the white colorway. So that's what I'm doing so far. So yeah, it's coming along nicely and super fast. This took me one evening to do this much, so very quick knit. It is not done yet, of course not, but it will be, because I want her to be able to wear it before the kid grows up. I promise it will be. So that is my baby love note, and yeah. I am doing, the reason why that one got set aside for, and I don't want to share it on the podcast yet because I'm not sure that the designer would want it to be, but Anna from the Bluebird Box on Instagram, she did a test call out the other night for a new tunic dress that she is coming out with, and it's called Wild Rosie, and it's the most sweetest dress I have ever seen. Like I said, it's going to be either a tunic or a dress style. So she did a test call and I got accepted, so I'm super excited. So it uses a DK weight yarn, and I am doing the 6 to 12 month size, and I'm doing the tunic. So baby Laura will have another one. But I didn't want to bring it on the podcast and share. I have already separated, and I'm now, I think I'm like 20 rows away and I can cast off, but I didn't want to share it on the podcast just because I don't know if she wanted it to be shown yet. So when I am able to share it with you guys, probably by the next time I podcast, I will do so. I believe that it will be coming out sometime in May, but she already has some very nice patterns. She has another sweet little top, and I think it's a dress or a tunic, I can't remember, or both, but Katie on the Cozy Up Sisters, Cozy Up Knits podcast, she did one for her daughter, and it's so sweet. So it's the Bluebird Box. I will have it linked below. Do check her out on Instagram. That pattern is already up. It has been out for a little bit now, and it is absolutely adorable, so do check her out. So that's kind of why I got pulled away from the Love Note for, because I'm doing a test knit now. So I'm just gonna put you guys back a little bit. I'm so afraid that the wind is gonna push the camera over. So anyways, that was the Love Note. So the next thing I have to share with you guys, I'm just picking out random stuff at the moment. Housed in my kitty bag is a brand new cast on. So because I finished my Love Note, I had to cast on another sweater, and if you were watching on Instagram or my last podcast, I had casted on The Weekender by Andrea Mowry. I have since taken it off the needles. I kind of went into this phase before my surgery where I felt I needed to cast on all the things. It was just a weird place that my mind was in. So I took that back off the needles. I kind of went through my yarn and I did a cleaning, like a spring cleaning of sorts, and reorganized stuff, and went through all my project bags. So stuff that I casted on, did I really want to do this, or was it the right time? I was just feeling very overwhelmed, so I did take a lot of stuff off the needles, and The Weekender was one of them. So I still want to make one, but there's other sweaters that have now come into my my attention that I would rather make right now. So yeah, so that one's off the needles. So in its place, I decided to cast on the Floozy cardigan by Libby Johnson. And this was inspired by Tracy of the Grocery Girls podcast. She made a beautiful one out of Barrett Wool Company wool. So beautiful. It's a beautiful red, and she used contrasting, I think it's a charcoal gray and white for the yoke. It's just gorgeous. So when I saw her cardigan, I had to make it. So I already had the wool in my, well, the yarn in my stash, and this is going to be the main body. So this is Barocco Vintage DK, and it is in the navy colorway. So here's my hack. This is a fingering weight cardigan. They also have Libby recently released a pullover version of the Floozy as well, but it is a fingering weight. I am doing a DK weight because I am still too chicken to cast on a fingering weight sweater for myself. So I decided to do this. We will see if it's way too big or not. But I went down a size, I believe, for what would fit me. So far, so good. So anyways, here's my colors. This is my main body. And contrast 1 is going to be white. These are all Barocco vintage. And I do not remember the colorway name of this one, but it is like a very goldy yellow color. So pretty. So these 3 were already in my stash, and I just had to put those together into a floozy because, yeah. So without further ado, I will show you what I have so far. So I will have to order more of the navy because I don't have enough. I only have 2 balls of it, but that's okay. So these aren't on the longest needles in the world, so it will be a bit scrunched. So here is the collar, and here is my progress. So I have gotten through the first color chart, and now I'm on to the second. So my 3rd color has been introduced, and now I believe I'm going to be introducing that gold color again soon in the next couple rows. But you can see what it is so far. It is just so pretty and so gorgeous. I love it. And I can't wait to wear it. Mine is the cardigan one. I'm not doing the pullover. But I just love those colors put together. They're so nice. And although it's scrunched up right now, so I can't tell, but I think it's going to work. It looks gigantic at the moment, but I think it will work. So anyways, that's what I have done so far. And yeah, I can't wait for it to be finished because it's such a beautiful pattern. The thing that I really love about this is it's done with slip stitches, so it's not stranded color work. So at any time you're working with 2 colors, and 2 colors only, and it's slip stitched, not color work. So that was a selling point for me, because if I can do color work in the round, not too bad. My tension works out, but when I do it flat, I have trouble. So when I saw that they were done with slip stitches, I was sold right away. So you can just see my floats in the back there. So that's that. That's the floozy by Libby Johnson. And the pullover looks equally as cute too. So that's sweater number 1 that I'm working on. So sweater number 2 has been on the go since last summer, and I recently pulled it back out to get some work done on it. So just gonna see, because I actually have a paper pattern here of it. I will show you a picture. So I started the Alias cardigan by Isabel Kramer last summer. And of course I was inspired by the wonderful ladies over at Cozy Up Knits. Jamie did one in a beautiful gold colorway, mustard yellow gold color, and Katie is doing one now too. And I was so inspired by that I had to cast one on right away. So the yarn that I am using is Cascade 220 Superwash. And I don't know what the colorway number is 1946, and it's just a beautiful heathered gray. So I had bought this last year sometime for another sweater, but that didn't happen, so I just put it into this one. So I had gotten quite a bit of the body done on it. I have shown this on here before, but It is the top down, and it's got a really neat construction. It's got a really neat construction, like you cast on these little parts here for your shoulder on both sides, and then you join them. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away the pattern. It is paid for, but it's just a very neat construction. So now I've gotten all the way down the body. It has these mock cables that run down the side here. So this would be your front band. There will be a button band put on this as well, but you can see the beautiful mock cable. And it shares that same design here on the underarm. So that goes all the way down as well. And now I've gotten to the point where I'm doing the pocket area. So I'm terrible at showing you guys, but you can see here that there's these beautiful mock cables defining around the pockets, and I just started doing the ribbing. So that's my pocket opening. I got my stitches on hold for the pocket right now. So I think I have a little bit more ribbing to go, and then I can do the pocket linings and get those attached, and then the body is done. So then all I have to do is pick up for my sleeves and put my sleeves on, do the button band, and I will have a gorgeous cardigan to wear. And I am so excited. So yeah, for this pattern I chose to do the 1XL, the 1XL size, and I was a little nervous that is it going to be too small, but I put it on myself the other day and it feels like it's going to fit just fine. So I am super happy about that. So, and I'm doing the same size for my floozy, and I did the same size for my LoveNote as well, just in case you're curious. So yeah, only got a little bit more to go on this and it will be finished, and I'm super excited. So that is the Alias Cardigan by Isabel Kramer. And I really love it because I love all of Isabel Kramer's patterns, but she is getting more size inclusive stuff in there. So her patterns are going up for higher sizes, which is amazing to see that. And it's nice to see that some other designers are doing bigger sizes as well, because yeah, there's some of us that are, you know, there's just a little bit more of us and we want to wear these beautiful patterns too. So it's very nice to see when a designer does that. And yeah, so moving on, I showed that. Okay, so I have a couple more works in progress. Some of these I haven't really worked on shawls lately, just because it's been all the sweaters. Ever since I finished this one, all I want to do is sweaters. But I do have a little bit more progress on my Jamie shawl, which I did share on the last podcast. So I am using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the Bouquet Heather colorway. I am doing the worsted weight version. So the pattern calls for worsted weight or DK, and I chose worsted. And I believe last time I was just above the baubles, or I had done the baubles. I can't remember, but here we are so far. And it is a little scrunched up because the cable that I'm working on isn't that big, but I have now completed the baubles and did some more of the garter ridge, did a section of eyelets, and now I'm back into some more of the garter ridges. So I'm over halfway done the shawl now, and it's very relaxing. It's a very relaxing knit to work on. It's not hard at all, and I really love it because it is worsted weight, and I'm working off of 5.5. I don't remember if that's the recommended size in the pattern, but that's just the kind of fabric I liked. And yeah, I really love this pattern because for one, it's all the texture, and the Cozy Up girls are so good for that. They include all these beautiful stitches and all these beautiful textures in their patterns. Thing I love about the Jamie shawl is not only is it so classic, it's a classic triangle shawl, but when you get one section done, you're jumping right into a different stitch pattern and then jumping right into a new one. It's constantly changing, and I love that, but it's all easy. There's nothing hard about it. So for me, it's a very mindless knit. It's something that when you don't want to think about your knitting, you just sit there, you can watch a movie, watch TV, and just knit on it. And the end product is so beautiful. So yeah, can't wait for it to be done. The Bouquet Heather is a very beautiful colorway. It's kind of like a dusty pink color, but it's heathered with, like, there's gold. I don't know if, I think the sun is showing the gold specks in it. It's just so gorgeous. So gorgeous. When you're in low light, it looks very dark, but when you're in the sun, you can totally see that gold coming out. And I just love that. So that's my Jamie shawl by Cozy Up Knits. Hopefully it'll see some more love soon because it is almost done. So I got one more work in progress to share with you that I've been working on a little bit. And this also goes into stash enhancement as well. I ended up making an order with Yarn Inc. And this was the first time I'd ever ordered from them. And I've admired their stuff for the longest time. But she had her spiced colorway on sale. So I got myself two. So this is on her classic sock base. This is on her classic sock base. It is a 4-ply, 463 yards on 100 grams skein, 75% superwash merino, and 25% nylon. And it is the most prettiest color ever. It's very speckly, and I do not have enough speckles in my stash. So yeah, love it. So I did get two skeins of it. And for this yarn here, when I ordered it, I knew automatically what it was going to be. It was going to be the Ziggy shawl by Joji Locatelli, which is a triangle shaped shawl that has lots of garter, and it has sections of lace. So I did cast it on. And this hasn't gotten much love, guys, because like I said, I haven't been working on shawls a lot. But that's what I have so far. And I think this yarn is just perfect for this shawl. So there we go. And you can see that beautiful lace there. At least I hope you can. So yeah. It's going to be so, so pretty. It uses 2 skeins of a fingering weight yarn. So yeah. And the Whimsy and Sassy charms I spoke of earlier, the kitty cat, here is the macaroon ones that I got. I got them on this shawl. I think there's 6 of them in total. And you can get different colors. You can get all the same color, or you can get pastels like this, or bright colors. She's got some options, and I really love it because most of the charms that I've noticed that she's posted, she gives you options for colors that you can get, so that's pretty cool. So, and she's out of Ontario too. And what's really cool is she doesn't live far from family in Ontario. She's near Brighton, Ontario. So when I saw that, that was totally cool. So do check out her shop. Okay, so that's it for my knitting section of it. Now I will go on into my stash enhancement. So I said that I made an order with Twist Yarn Co. from Midland, Ontario. Our local yarn store is unfortunately closed down during this time, which is understandable. I did hear that you can still call in and make an order, but I wasn't aware of that at the time, so I just went online and made some purchases. I do have yarn coming. I made an order with Diane from Suburban Stitcher the day before my surgery, I believe. So I got some of her slub yarn, and it has been in transit ever since because the borders are, yeah, mail is backed up at the moment, which is understandable. But I do have some of that coming, so I don't know when it will be here, but I did do that. And I made another order just I think it was last week with flock fiber. I got 2 skeins of her fingering yarn as well for a dream knit. I would love to make the Bronte sister shawl by the Lost and Fawn. I just love that shawl so much. It's really cool because it's garter and lace, but the way that it is that it's a triangle shawl, but you have lace on this side of this, like the center spine, and then just plain knitting on the other side, like a stockinette. And then the next section, you're changing the laces now on this side and the stockinette's on this side. It's just such a beautiful 3-color shawl. It's 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn. So I already have a skein of peach yarn here from Handmaiden. So I bought 2 skeins that would kind of work with that. So anyways, I'm super excited about that. That's a dream knit that's coming. But here is my order that I made from Twist Yarn Co. So I really love it because they put it in these beautiful drawstring bags. My friend Shelby made an order with me, so she's got her own little bag, and we ordered the same yarn, of course. So here is the cotton yarn. I got 2 more colorways. This one is Moonstone, color number 841, which is just like a neutral. And then I got this beautiful brown one here. It is color number 869, Obsadin. I probably did not say that right because, yeah. Can you guys see that? I don't know, probably not. So anyways, it's just a very beautiful brown. So I got those 2 as well, and you can totally see how that pull tab is just sitting on top of there nicely. So I got those. And this is totally on Shelby. I'm blaming you for this, Shelby. She bought the Ginny cardigan by Andra Mowry. And when I made the order for her yarn, because I needed to get yarn for it too, I had to do the same color. So she got Estelle DK because it was on sale at Twist Yarn Yarn Co. So I think it was like $5 a skein, which is amazing. I would say that if you've never worked with the Estelle, it's very similar to Barocco Vintage. So Barocco Vintage is acrylic wool, and so is Estelle. So Shelby got the Estelle DK, which is I believe it's 40% acrylic or 60% acrylic, 40 wool, something like that. I got the Estelle Alpaca Merino DK, which is a 60% superfine alpaca, 40% merino wool, and it is 100 gram skein with 250 meters. And because Shelby got black, I got black as well. Of course, got to twin it up, right? I did have another colorway in mind. There was a beautiful like a teal color, and I don't have anything that's teal, and I wanted it, but unfortunately they didn't have the correct amount of skeins that I would need for the cardigan, so I just went with black because they had black in stock, which is absolutely fine because, yeah, I live in black. Everybody needs a black cardigan. So yeah, I got myself 6 skeins of that, which should make the cardigan no problem. They're all housed in here. So that was my purchase, and I am trying not to look at it. I got it hidden because I'm afraid if I look at it that I'm going to want to scan it up and cast it on, and I don't want to do that right now because I have so much going on. But yeah, I'm excited about that. Ginny was created by Andrea Mowry, as I said, and it was inspired by her grandmother that taught her how to knit, and that it's very close to my heart right now for my grandmother and my mother. My grandmother was a big crafter, and we had just lost her this past winter, and yeah, so I feel very close to that. And the cardigan itself is just so beautiful. I'm trying to find a picture of it here. I'm sure you all have seen it, but it's such a classy design. So hopefully you guys will be able to see that. You might not because of the sun right now, but there it is. It's got this beautiful high neck on it. It's just gorgeous. I love it. And it's got a tie that goes around your waist. It's stunning. I love it. So there we go. So that's future knitting plans. So probably I will wait and cast on the same time as Shelby and kind of do a little knit along, and I don't know when that will be, but maybe at the same time I will open up a thread on my Ravelry page and on Instagram and perhaps do a sweater make along. So not specific to the Ginny cardigan, but to any sweater. So I don't know yet. We'll see. Maybe I'll do that. So yeah, so that's some dream knitting of sorts. So I have the Ginny cardigan in my sights to do, and I want to do the Bronte sister shawl as well. So yeah, lots of fun stuff. There is not enough hours in the day to do everything, but yeah. I've kind of gotten my cast on niche under controls for now, and I'm trying to be monogamous as much as I can be. So for the past week or so I've been just specific to my test knit and specific to my alias cardigan because it is so close to being done. So I've just been doing that. I found my new love for sewing again. It's like I pulled out my sewing machine the other day, so now I am re-inspired to pick that back up again. And I have some new tags. I wanted to get some tags for my bags. I've made bags for my friends and my family, but I am considering posting some and selling them. And before I do that, I wanted to have some logo tags. So I found a maker in Alberta, I believe. She is on Etsy, and she makes these sweet little wooden tags. And she imprints like your logo on it or whatever you'd like to have on it. So I got some of those made up, and I have no idea when they will be here. But yeah, that's just something. So perhaps by the fall I might have a couple bags out there to sell. I'm not sure. I'm getting more comfortable with making them now, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So anyways, I hope that you guys are all doing well. You're getting lots of knitting done. I know that we're all stuck inside or stuck outside, which is perfectly fine with me because I am loving this gorgeous sunny weather, and this is my place to be, outside with my knitting. So yeah. So until next time, guys, I hope you guys have a good one. I will have show notes posted below in the description box, as well as where you can find me on the interwebs. And yeah, if you wish to reach out to me, I will have my email listed there as well, or you can reach out to me on Ravelry and Instagram. So until next time, have a good one, have a safe one, and stay healthy.